Success is not avoiding you. It is waiting for you to stop avoiding what it requires. Is this the reason you're not succeeding? That question might make you uncomfortable. Good, because comfort has probably been part of the problem. You are not lazy. You are not incapable. You are not unlucky. But you may be protecting the very habits, thoughts, and decisions that keep your life exactly where it is. You want better results. You talk about bigger goals. You imagine a stronger version of yourself. Yet when it is time to act, something pulls you back. Why? Why do you delay what matters? Why do you lower your standards when no one is watching? Why do you choose what feels easy over what builds your future? This is not about blaming you. It is about waking you up. Most people never ask themselves these questions. They stay busy. They stay distracted. They stay comfortable. And years later, they wonder where their potential went. In this video, you are going to face the real reasons behind your stalled progress. Not surface advice, real psychology, real patterns, real change. If you are ready to stop guessing and start growing, stay with me. Number 1, ask yourself what you keep avoiding daily. There is a question that most people do not want to sit with in silence. It is not about talent. It is not about luck. It is not about who supported you or who did not. The real question is simple, and it is personal. What are you avoiding every single day? Success is not a mystery. It leaves clues in your daily actions. Failure also leaves clues. And most of the time, the clue is not what you are doing. It is what you are refusing to face. You wake up in the morning. There is something on your mind. A call you need to make. A project you need to start. A conversation you need to have. A decision you need to make. You feel it in your chest. A small, tight feeling. A little resistance. And instead of moving toward it, you move away from it. You scroll. You delay. You tell yourself you will do it later. That small moment, repeated every day, becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes your results. Ask yourself honestly, what are you avoiding daily? Maybe you are avoiding discipline. You know you should wake up earlier, but you press snooze. You know you should work on your goals after work, but you sit down and distract yourself. It feels harmless in the moment. It feels comfortable, but comfort has a price, and that price is your future. Maybe you are avoiding responsibility. It is easier to say the economy is bad. It is easier to say people do not support you. It is easier to say you did not get the right opportunity. But deep down, you know there are areas where you could do more. You could prepare more. You could study more. You could improve your skills. Avoiding responsibility protects your pride for a moment, but it steals your power for a lifetime. Maybe you are avoiding fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of failing in public. Fear of looking foolish. So you stay quiet. You keep your ideas to yourself. You do not apply for that position. You do not start that business. You do not share your work. You convince yourself that you are waiting for the right time. But the truth is, you are protecting yourself from discomfort, and that protection becomes a prison. Human psychology is simple in one way. We move toward pleasure and away from pain. That is natural. But growth requires a different choice. Growth requires walking toward short-term discomfort for long-term reward. If you keep choosing short-term comfort, you will keep getting long-term frustration. Think about this carefully. Every time you avoid something important, your mind notices. You may not speak it out loud, but your mind records it. It says you did not follow through. You did not keep your word. You backed away again. And slowly your self-respect weakens. Confidence does not disappear in one big event. It fades through daily avoidance. On the other hand, every time you face what you have been avoiding, something powerful happens inside you. Your heart may beat faster. Your hands may feel tense. But when you act anyway, you send a new message to yourself. You say, I can handle this. I can move even when I feel uncomfortable. That builds strength, real strength. Success is built in private moments. It is built when no one is watching. It is built when you sit alone and decide to do the hard thing instead of the easy thing. That is why the question matters so much. What are you avoiding daily? Are you avoiding planning your future because it feels overwhelming? Then start small. Sit down for 10 minutes and write what you want your life to look like in 5 years. Not what others expect, not what sounds impressive, what you truly want. Clarity reduces fear. Confusion increases avoidance. Are you avoiding improving your health because you feel ashamed of where you are? Shame keeps you stuck. Action sets you free. Go for a short walk today. Drink more water today. Prepare one healthy meal today. Small steps build momentum. Momentum builds belief. Are you avoiding difficult conversations in your relationships? Silence may feel safe, but it slowly damages connection. Speak calmly. Speak honestly. Speak with respect. The discomfort of a real conversation is far better than the pain of unresolved tension. Are you avoiding learning new skills because you feel behind? Everyone starts somewhere. The person you admire once felt unqualified. They simply decided to begin. Read a few pages. Watch a lesson. Practice for 30 minutes. Do not wait to feel ready. Readiness comes after action, not before. Avoidance gives temporary relief. Action gives lasting progress. Take a close look at your day. From morning to night, where do you hesitate? Where do you delay? Where do you make excuses? Write it down. Be honest. This is not about guilt. This is about awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to see. There is also another layer. Sometimes you avoid success itself. That may sound strange, but it is real. Success brings attention. It brings responsibility. It brings higher expectations. Some people stay small because staying small feels safe. No pressure, no criticism, but also no growth. Ask yourself, are you playing smaller than you know you can? Your mind will try to protect you. It will say, do not take the risk. Do not try too hard. Do not stand out. But you are not here to hide. You are here to grow. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting while feeling fear. Discipline is not about being perfect. Discipline is choosing what matters over what feels easy. Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself. If you want different results, you must confront what you avoid. Not once. Not when you feel motivated. Every day. In the morning, before the world distracts you, ask yourself, what is the one thing I am tempted to avoid today that would move my life forward? Then do that first. Do not negotiate with your excuses. Do not wait for a better mood. Act. At night, reflect. Did I face what I was avoiding, or did I escape again? If you escaped, do not attack yourself. Just decide to improve tomorrow. Growth is a process, not a single event. You have more control than you think. You may not control the economy. You may not control other people, but you control your response. You control your habits. You control your effort. That is enough to change your direction. The pain of discipline is real. You feel it when you wake up early. You feel it when you work while others relax. You feel it when you speak up instead of staying silent. But that pain is temporary. The pain of regret is heavy, and it lasts much longer. Years later, you will not regret the effort. You will regret the chances you avoided. Picture yourself 5 years from now. 2 versions. One version kept avoiding the hard tasks, kept choosing comfort, kept delaying action. That person feels frustrated. They look back and see wasted time. The other version faced discomfort daily, made the calls, learned the skills, took the risks. That person stands taller. They feel proud. The difference between those 2 versions is not luck. It is daily courage. You do not need to change everything at once. Start with one avoided task. Face it today. Build from there. Over time, your identity shifts. You no longer see yourself as someone who runs from difficulty. You see yourself as someone who handles it. That shift changes everything. Ask yourself what you keep avoiding daily. Write it down. Face it. Repeat this process every day. That is how success is built. Not in grand speeches, not in dramatic moments, in quiet decisions. You have the ability. You have the potential. The question is not whether you can succeed. The question is whether you will stop avoiding what success requires. Stand up in your own life. Take responsibility for your actions. Confront your fear. Replace delay with action. Replace excuses with effort. Replace comfort with growth. Your future is shaped by what you choose to face today. Number 2, expose the silent patterns blocking your growth. There are forces shaping your life that you rarely stop to examine. They are quiet. They do not shout. They do not demand attention. Yet they guide your choices, influence your habits, and slowly determine your results. These are the silent patterns blocking your growth. Most people search outside for answers. They look at the market, they look at competition, they look at their background. But real change begins when you turn inward and study your own behavior. Not once, not when you feel inspired, regularly, calmly, honestly. Human beings are creatures of habit. The mind loves familiarity. It loves routine. Even when that routine produces average results, it still feels safe. So you repeat what you know. You think in familiar ways. You react in predictable ways. You follow the same daily rhythm. Over time, that rhythm becomes your identity. If your life is not where you want it to be, it is not random. It is connected to repeated behaviors. These patterns are often so normal to you that you do not notice them anymore. Consider how you respond to stress. When pressure rises, do you focus and solve problems, or do you withdraw and distract yourself? When someone criticizes you, do you reflect and improve, or do you become defensive? When you experience a setback, do you analyze what went wrong, or do you label yourself as unlucky and move on without learning? These reactions are not one-time events. They form a pattern. Growth demands awareness. Awareness requires stillness. You cannot fix what you refuse to observe. Take a moment and think about your last week. How did you spend your free time? How did you talk to yourself when something went wrong? How often did you delay important tasks? These small behaviors, repeated daily, create silent limits around your life. There is a pattern many people fall into. They set high goals but maintain low standards in daily habits. They speak about ambition, yet their routine does not support it. They say they want financial freedom, but they do not track spending. They say they want better health, but they ignore sleep. They say they want growth, but they avoid learning. The mind can dream big, but the body follows habits. Another silent pattern is negative self-talk. It does not always sound dramatic. It can be subtle. Phrases like, "I am not good at this. People like me do not reach that level. I always struggle with this kind of thing." These statements may feel harmless, but they slowly shape your confidence. When you repeat a thought enough times, your brain accepts it as truth. Then your behavior adjusts to match it. You might also have a pattern of seeking comfort when effort is required. After a long day, you tell yourself you deserve rest, even if important work remains. Rest is important, but constant escape weakens discipline. Over months and years, this pattern steals opportunities. Some people carry a pattern of waiting for perfect conditions. They say they will start when they feel ready. They say they will try when they have more knowledge. They say they will act when they feel confident. But readiness grows through action, not before it. Waiting becomes a cycle. The days pass. The years pass. The dream remains untouched. There are emotional patterns as well. Some individuals avoid conflict at all costs. They remain silent in meetings. They avoid honest conversations. They choose peace in the moment, but sacrifice progress in the long run. Others react strongly to minor problems. Small challenges trigger big emotions. This drains energy that could be used for solutions. You must study your reactions with curiosity instead of judgment. When something frustrates you, ask why. When you procrastinate, ask what you are feeling. Is it fear of failure? Fear of judgment? Fear of not being good enough? Naming the emotion reduces its control over you. Another pattern that blocks growth is inconsistency. Many people work hard for short bursts. They feel motivated for a week. They take action for a few days. Then they stop. Then they start again. Then they stop. This cycle prevents momentum. Real progress comes from steady effort over time. Look at your mornings. Do you start the day with intention, or do you begin in reaction mode? The way you begin often influences the rest of the day. If your morning lacks structure, your goals may never receive focused attention. Look at your evenings. Do you reflect on what you accomplished? Do you evaluate what needs improvement? Or do you move from one distraction to another until the day ends? Without reflection, patterns remain hidden. Relationships reveal patterns too. Do you surround yourself with people who challenge you, or with people who keep you comfortable? Do your conversations focus on growth or on complaints? Environment shapes behavior more than most people realize. Financial habits show patterns. Spending without tracking. Avoiding investment in skills. Ignoring long-term planning. These behaviors may feel minor, but over time they create large gaps between where you are and where you want to be. You may also have a pattern of underestimating yourself. Some individuals shrink their goals to avoid disappointment. They choose targets that feel safe instead of meaningful. This protects them from failure, but it also protects them from achievement. Breaking silent patterns begins with written awareness. Take a notebook. Write down 3 behaviors that repeat in your life and produce unwanted results. Be specific, not vague. If you delay important work, write when and why. If you react emotionally under pressure, write what triggers it. If you avoid new challenges, describe the thoughts that appear in your mind. Once you see the pattern clearly, interrupt it. If you notice that you procrastinate when a task feels overwhelming, break the task into smaller parts. If you realize that criticism makes you defensive, pause before responding. Take a breath. Ask one question instead of defending yourself immediately. If you see that you waste time late at night, set a fixed hour to disconnect from distractions. Change does not require dramatic action. It requires consistent correction. Small adjustments repeated daily reshape your direction. Your mind is powerful, but it follows the instructions you give it. If you continue to allow old patterns to guide you, you will continue to receive familiar results. If you deliberately create new patterns, your results will shift. Growth is not blocked by a single event. It is blocked by repeated unconscious behavior. Success is not created by a single breakthrough. It is created by repeated intentional action. Look closely at your daily routine. Study it without emotion. See it as data. Where does your time go? Where does your energy go? What thoughts repeat most often? This information tells you more about your future than your hopes do. There is strength in facing yourself honestly. It may feel uncomfortable to admit certain habits, but discomfort is a signal of awareness. Awareness leads to choice. Choice leads to change. You are not trapped by your past patterns. You created them. You can replace them. Every day offers a new opportunity to choose differently. Every moment offers a chance to respond in a stronger way. Do not search for a dramatic secret. The truth is quieter. Study your patterns. Expose them. Correct them. Repeat that process consistently. Your growth is waiting on the other side of self-awareness. Number 3, uncover the truth behind your stalled progress. There comes a moment when you look at your life and quietly admit that you are not moving forward the way you hoped. You are busy. You are tired. You are trying. Yet the results are not matching your effort. That is a hard place to stand. It can feel confusing. It can feel unfair. But if you truly want to grow, you must uncover the truth behind your stalled progress. Progress does not stop without a reason. It slows down when something underneath the surface is not aligned. Most people focus on what they can see. They measure hours worked. They measure tasks completed. They measure money earned. But real progress is shaped by deeper forces. Your standards, your focus, your energy, your clarity, your courage. Start with your standards, not your goals. Your standards. Goals describe what you want. Standards describe what you are willing to accept. If you say you want excellence, but tolerate average effort, your standards are in conflict with your goals. If you want respect but allow others to cross your boundaries, your standards are too low. If you want financial growth but accept careless spending, your standards are not strong enough to support your desire. Your life rises or falls to the level of what you accept from yourself. Another truth behind stalled progress is lack of clarity. Many people move through the day reacting to what appears in front of them. Messages, calls, small requests, urgent tasks. They stay busy but not focused. When you are unclear about your main objective, you spend energy on what feels urgent instead of what truly matters. At the end of the week, you feel exhausted but not fulfilled. Clarity requires time alone with your thoughts. It requires writing down what you are truly working toward. It requires deciding what deserves your attention and what does not. Without clarity, effort becomes scattered. Scattered effort rarely produces strong results. There is also the issue of energy. Progress demands physical and mental strength. If you neglect your health, your productivity suffers. If you sleep poorly, your thinking becomes slower. If you eat without care, your focus weakens. If you constantly consume negative information, your motivation fades. You cannot expect steady growth with low energy. Examine your daily routine honestly. Are you caring for your body in a way that supports your ambitions? Are you protecting your mental space from unnecessary noise? Energy is a resource. If it is drained, progress slows. Another factor is hidden fear. Fear does not always appear loudly. It can show up as hesitation. It can show up as perfectionism. It can show up as endless preparation without execution. You tell yourself you are refining your plan. You tell yourself you are waiting for better timing. In reality, you may be protecting yourself from the possibility of failure. Failure is uncomfortable. It challenges your identity. It exposes weaknesses. But avoiding action guarantees stagnation. Progress requires risk. Not reckless risk, but thoughtful action despite uncertainty. You must also examine your commitment level. There is a difference between interest and commitment. When you are interested in something, you act when it is convenient. When you are committed, you act even when it is inconvenient. Many people are interested in success. Fewer are committed to the discipline it requires. Ask yourself difficult questions. Are you truly committed to the outcome you claim to want? Or are you hoping it will arrive without deep sacrifice? Honest answers create growth. Another truth is inconsistency and skill development. The world changes quickly. Industries evolve. Standards rise. If your skills remain the same while expectations increase, your progress will slow. Continuous learning is not optional. It is necessary. If you have not improved your abilities in the past year, your results will reflect that. Study your field. Seek feedback. Practice deliberately. Improvement requires focused repetition. Casual effort produces casual results. Your environment also influences your growth. The people around you shape your thinking. If you spend time with individuals who complain often, who avoid responsibility, who speak negatively about ambition, their mindset can influence yours. If your surroundings lack encouragement and accountability, it becomes easier to stay comfortable. Evaluate the conversations you engage in daily. Do they expand your thinking or limit it? Do they challenge you to rise or invite you to settle? Another common reason for stalled progress is emotional distraction, unresolved conflicts, lingering resentment, regret from past mistakes. These emotions consume mental space. Even when you are working, part of your attention remains trapped in unresolved feelings. This reduces focus and creativity. Address what is weighing on your mind. Have the conversation. Forgive where necessary. Seek closure. Emotional freedom increases productivity. Time management is another area worth examining, not from a technical perspective, but from an honesty perspective. How many hours slip away to passive entertainment? How often do you delay starting important work because it feels heavy? Time does not disappear. It is spent according to your priorities. If your calendar does not reflect your goals, progress will remain slow. Track your time for a week. Observe patterns. Adjust deliberately. There is also the matter of self-belief. Deep down, do you believe you deserve the level of success you desire? Some individuals carry quiet doubts about their worthiness. They sabotage opportunities without realizing it. They hesitate to raise their prices. They hesitate to apply for advanced roles. They hesitate to speak with authority. These behaviors reflect internal doubt. Building belief requires evidence. Set small targets. Achieve them. Record your wins. Over time, your mind gathers proof that you are capable. It is also possible that you have been working without measuring results. Effort without evaluation can continue for years without adjustment. You must regularly assess what is working and what is not. If a strategy produces weak outcomes, refine it. If a method drains energy without progress, replace it. Growth demands feedback. Feedback requires humility. You must be willing to admit that some approaches need improvement. Stalled progress is rarely caused by one dramatic mistake. It is usually the result of small misalignments sustained over time. Slight lack of clarity, slight drop in discipline, slight avoidance of risk, slight neglect of learning. Combined together, they slow momentum. The encouraging truth is that small corrections can restart movement. Raise your standards. Clarify your main objective. Protect your energy. Take one bold action you have been postponing. Commit fully instead of casually. Improve one key skill. Adjust your environment. Resolve lingering emotional weight. Track your time. Strengthen your belief with evidence. Review your strategies regularly. Progress is not a mystery reserved for a few. It responds to alignment. When your actions, standards, focus, and mindset work together, growth accelerates. Stand still for a moment and examine your life carefully, not with frustration, not with self-criticism, with calm determination. The answers are already present in your daily habits. When you uncover the truth behind your stalled progress, you regain control. And once you regain control, forward movement becomes a choice rather than a wish. Number 4. Spot the comfort zones draining your drive. There is a quiet danger that does not look harmful at first. It feels warm. It feels safe. It feels familiar. It asks nothing difficult from you. It allows you to stay as you are. That danger is comfort that goes unchecked. If you want to understand why your drive feels weaker than it once did, you must spot the comfort zones draining your energy. Comfort is not always bad. Rest is necessary. Peace is valuable. Stability has its place. The problem begins when comfort becomes your main priority. When your choices are guided by what feels easiest instead of what builds strength, your ambition slowly fades. You can see this in small daily decisions. You wake up with an alarm. The room feels quiet. The bed feels warm. Your goal requires early effort. Your mind offers a soft suggestion to sleep a little longer. That decision seems minor, yet repeated over months, it shapes discipline. Discipline shapes results. Comfort shows up in your work as well. You may stay in a position that no longer challenges you. You know the tasks. You understand the routine. You rarely feel stretched. The paycheck arrives. The days pass. Inside, however, something feels dull. Growth requires challenge. When challenge disappears, development slows. It also appears in conversations. You may avoid speaking your ideas because silence feels safer. You may agree with opinions you do not fully support because disagreement feels uncomfortable. You protect your short-term ease at the cost of long-term respect. Every time you choose silence over truth, your confidence loses strength. Comfort zones are not only physical places, they are mental habits. They are emotional reactions. They are social patterns. Some people stay around the same group of friends year after year, not because the relationships are deep, but because they are familiar. There is no pressure to improve. There is no expectation to rise. Conversations stay at the surface. It feels relaxed, yet there is no push toward better standards. Your drive needs pressure, not destructive pressure, but constructive pressure. The kind that reminds you of your potential, the kind that challenges your current level. Another comfort zone is routine without growth. Routine can create order. It can help you stay organized. But if your routine does not evolve, it becomes repetitive. You complete the same tasks in the same way. You stop learning. You stop stretching. You stop questioning whether there is a better approach. Look at your daily schedule. Does it demand more from you than it did a year ago? Or does it simply repeat what you already know how to handle? When life becomes too predictable, motivation declines. Comfort also hides in entertainment. After a long day, distraction feels deserved. Watching videos, scrolling endlessly, consuming content without purpose. A few minutes turn into hours. You tell yourself you needed a break. Perhaps you did. But if every evening disappears into passive activity, your future receives very little investment. There is a psychological reason for this. The brain prefers immediate reward. Effort often produces delayed results. When you choose entertainment over improvement, you receive quick pleasure. Improvement requires patience. The mind leans toward what feels good now. Strong individuals train themselves to value what pays off later. Your financial life can reveal comfort as well. You may earn enough to survive. Bills are paid. There is food on the table. Yet there is no clear plan for growth. Saving feels restrictive. Investing feels uncertain. Learning about money feels complex. So you continue with what you know. Years pass. Opportunities remain unexplored. Comfort can even appear in your self-image. You may label yourself in limiting ways. You say you are not the type of person who leads. You say you are not creative. You say you are not good with numbers. These labels protect you from attempting difficult tasks. They excuse you from stretching beyond your current skill set. Another comfort zone is low expectations. When you expect little from yourself, you reduce pressure. You avoid disappointment. But you also avoid achievement. High standards require effort. Effort demands focus. Lowering expectations makes life easier in the short term, but it slowly weakens ambition. Your body language can reveal comfort. Do you walk with intention or casually drift? Do you sit upright when working or collapse into distraction? Physical posture influences mental state. When the body relaxes too deeply into inactivity, the mind follows. Your goals may also reflect comfort. Some individuals choose goals that are safe, goals that do not require major change, goals that can be achieved without new skills. There is nothing wrong with small progress. But if your goals do not challenge your current capacity, they will not expand it. Ask yourself where you feel slightly uneasy. Growth often lives there. The edge of your comfort zone holds lessons. It holds new strength. It holds expanded confidence. Breaking comfort does not mean living in constant stress. It means intentionally placing yourself in situations that require growth. Speak when you normally stay silent. Learn a skill that feels intimidating. Apply for a position that seems slightly beyond your reach. Start the project you keep postponing. Notice how your body reacts when you consider these actions. You may feel tension. You may feel doubt. That sensation is not a warning to stop. It is a sign you are stretching. Drive increases when you see yourself overcoming difficulty. When you face a challenge and handle it, your identity shifts. You begin to see yourself as capable. That belief fuels further action. You must also protect yourself from comfortable thinking. Thoughts such as "this is good enough, I will try later," or "I have done enough today," can quietly limit progress. Challenge those thoughts with evidence. Ask whether good enough truly aligns with your long-term vision. Comfort often convinces you that change can wait. Yet time does not pause. Every year you remain in the same mental space is a year not invested in expansion. There is strength in deliberate discomfort. Wake earlier than required. Study beyond what is necessary. Train your body even when it resists. Engage in conversations that deepen understanding. Seek feedback that exposes weaknesses. Each of these actions builds resilience. Look at the people you admire. They did not remain in safe routines. They pursued growth despite uncertainty. They placed themselves in environments that demanded improvement. That decision separated them from those who chose ease. You are capable of more than you currently display. Comfort convinces you that your current level is sufficient. Your potential quietly disagrees. Examine your week with honesty. Where did you choose what was easy over what was important? Where did you avoid challenge because it felt inconvenient? Where did you remain silent when you could have contributed? These moments reveal the zones draining your drive. Then choose one area to adjust. Do not attempt to change everything at once. Select one pattern of comfort and confront it. Replace an hour of passive consumption with focused study. Replace silence with thoughtful input. Replace delay with immediate action. Over time, your tolerance for discomfort will increase. What once felt intimidating will feel normal. That is how growth works. You expand your range gradually. Drive is not lost overnight. It weakens through repeated comfort. It strengthens through repeated challenge. You are not meant to live in constant ease. You are meant to develop. Development requires tension. It requires effort. It requires stepping beyond what feels familiar. Spot the comfort zones draining your drive. Name them clearly. Interrupt them intentionally. Build habits that stretch you. Your future will reflect the courage of these daily choices.
Number 5. Reveal the excuses dressed up as logic. There is a quiet skill the human mind has mastered. It knows how to protect you from discomfort. It knows how to keep you safe from risk. It knows how to justify delay. And it does all of this while sounding reasonable. That is where the real danger hides. Excuses rarely introduce themselves as weakness. They dress up as logic. You do not wake up and say, "I am going to avoid growth today." Instead, you say, "I need more time." You say, "This is not the right season." You say, "I should wait until I am fully prepared." On the surface, these statements appear thoughtful. They sound responsible. But if you listen closely, many of them are shields against effort. The mind prefers comfort. It wants certainty. It wants to avoid embarrassment. So it creates explanations that allow you to stay where you are while still feeling intelligent. That is why excuses are so powerful. They make inaction feel wise. Consider how often you delay a meaningful step forward because you are still gathering information. Learning is important. Preparation matters. But there is a point where preparation becomes protection. You tell yourself that one more course will make you ready. One more book will complete your understanding. One more plan will guarantee success. Months pass. The action never begins. That is not strategy. That is fear, wearing the mask of planning. Another common excuse sounds responsible. You say you are focusing on stability. You say now is not the time to take risks.
Stability is valuable. Responsibility matters. But sometimes this reasoning hides a reluctance to stretch. If you remain in the same position year after year with no growth, stability has become a boundary instead of a foundation. You may also justify your hesitation by pointing to external conditions. The market is uncertain. The competition is strong. The timing is not ideal. Conditions are rarely perfect. Waiting for flawless circumstances often leads to endless postponement. Logic can also appear in the form of comparison. You tell yourself others are more talented. Others have better connections. Others started earlier. These observations may contain truth, but using them as reasons to withdraw limits your own effort. Comparison should inform improvement, not cancel it. There is another subtle excuse that sounds mature. You say you are protecting your peace. You say you are avoiding stress. Peace is important. Mental health matters deeply. Yet sometimes this language is used to avoid necessary challenge. Growth requires some level of strain. It requires engagement with difficulty. If you avoid every situation that creates pressure, you avoid development as well. Some people hide behind the idea of realism. They say they are being practical. They lower their ambitions to match their current situation. They convince themselves that aiming higher would be unrealistic. Practical thinking is important, but practicality should not be confused with self-limitation. Pay attention to the tone of your internal dialogue. When you think about pursuing a bigger goal, what is the first response from your mind? Does it explore possibility? Or does it quickly list obstacles? Does it seek solutions? Or does it highlight risk? Excuses often focus on why something might fail, instead of how it could succeed. Another form of logical-sounding excuse is perfectionism. You convince yourself that the work is not ready yet. You revise endlessly. You delay sharing your ideas. You say you are maintaining high standards. In truth, you may be avoiding exposure. Perfectionism can become a comfortable hiding place. You might also justify inconsistency by calling yourself flexible. You change direction often. You start projects and then move on quickly. You say you are exploring options. Exploration is healthy, but constant shifting without commitment prevents mastery. Listen closely to how you explain your habits. If you skip a workout, do you say you needed recovery? Or do you admit you did not prioritize it? If you ignore a business idea, do you say you are waiting for clarity? Or do you admit you feel uncertain? Honest language reveals truth. Softened language protects comfort. The human mind values consistency between identity. If you see yourself as intelligent and capable, but your behavior lacks courage, your mind creates reasons to maintain your self-image. It tells you the risk was unnecessary. It tells you the opportunity was not right. This preserves your pride, but limits your progress. Real growth begins when you interrupt this pattern. Start by writing down 3 goals you claim to want. Then write down the actions required to move toward them. Now compare that list with your recent behavior. Where is the gap? In that gap, you will find excuses. Ask yourself direct questions. Am I truly too busy, or am I mismanaging time? Am I truly unprepared, or am I avoiding exposure? Am I truly protecting my peace, or am I protecting my comfort? Answer without drama. Answer without self-attack. Just answer truthfully. You may discover that some of your logic is valid. Not every hesitation is an excuse. Wisdom involves careful thinking. But the difference between wisdom and avoidance is action. Wisdom leads to decisive movement. Avoidance leads to repeated delay. Once you identify an excuse, challenge it with evidence. If you say you lack skill, schedule practice. If you say you lack time, track your hours. If you say the opportunity is risky, calculate the real cost instead of imagining worst-case scenarios. The moment you expose an excuse, it loses strength. It cannot control you in the same way once you see it clearly. This process requires humility. It is not comfortable to admit that you have been convincing yourself with polished reasoning, but strength grows through honesty. Excuses dressed up as logic often protect your ego. They allow you to maintain an image of competence without confronting weakness. Yet confronting weakness is the path to improvement. When you remove excuses, your path becomes clearer. You may feel exposed at first. You may feel vulnerable. But vulnerability combined with action creates resilience. Imagine how your life would shift if you replaced every polished excuse with a direct choice. Instead of saying you will start later, you begin today. Instead of saying conditions are not right, you adjust your approach. Instead of saying you are not ready, you develop readiness through effort. Your mind will continue to produce explanations. That is natural. The key is to examine them carefully,
Do they move you forward or hold you back? Reveal the excuses dressed up as logic. Write them down. Speak them out loud. Replace them with responsibility. Progress requires clarity. Clarity requires courage. When you remove the stories that keep you comfortable, you create space for action. And action, repeated consistently, transforms potential into reality.
Number 6, examine the fears shaping your weak decisions. There is a force that quietly influences your choices long before you speak or act. It sits beneath your logic. It shapes your reactions. It narrows your options without announcing itself. That force is fear. If you want to understand why some of your decisions lack strength, you must examine the fears shaping them. Fear is not always dramatic. It does not always feel like panic. Sometimes it feels like hesitation. Sometimes it feels like overthinking. Sometimes it feels like playing safe. You tell yourself you are being careful. You tell yourself you are thinking things through. Yet deep inside, there is tension. That tension deserves attention. One common fear is the fear of rejection. This fear can control your voice. It can stop you from sharing ideas in meetings. It can prevent you from applying for opportunities. It can keep you silent in relationships. You imagine someone saying no. You imagine someone judging you. So you reduce your visibility. You shrink your presence. The decision feels protective, but it limits your reach. Another powerful fear is the fear of failure. Failure can feel personal. It can feel like proof that you are not capable. To avoid that pain, you lower your goals. You choose tasks you know you can handle. You avoid situations where your skills will be tested. You stay within boundaries that feel manageable. This keeps your record clean, but it also keeps your growth small. There is also the fear of success. This may sound unusual, yet it is real. Success brings responsibility. It brings attention. It raises expectations. If you achieve more, you must maintain more. Some people hesitate because they worry about the pressure that comes with higher performance. So they slow down just enough to avoid standing out. Fear of criticism is another quiet influence. You may recall moments when someone doubted you. Those memories stay in the background. When you consider taking a bold step, your mind replays those voices. You imagine comments. You imagine negative feedback. To avoid discomfort, you adjust your behavior. You choose the safer path. Examine how often your decisions are shaped by imagined outcomes instead of real data. Fear tends to exaggerate risk. It magnifies potential loss while minimizing potential gain. Your mind may create detailed scenarios of embarrassment or disappointment. These images feel real, even if they have not happened. Fear can also show up in financial decisions. You may hesitate to invest in learning or business growth because you worry about losing money. You may avoid negotiating for higher pay because you fear being viewed as demanding. You may remain in a secure position because uncertainty feels threatening. Caution is valuable, but excessive caution can become limitation. Relationships reveal fear clearly. Some people avoid deep connection because they fear vulnerability. Opening up means exposing emotions. It means allowing someone to see your doubts. To avoid the possibility of being hurt, you maintain distance. This protects you from pain, but it also prevents intimacy. Your past experiences can strengthen certain fears. If you faced failure before, your mind remembers the discomfort. If you were criticized harshly, your mind remembers the sting. These memories influence current choices. You may not even notice it happening. That is why examination is important. Start by observing your physical reactions. When you think about taking a risk, what happens in your body? Does your stomach tighten? Do your shoulders tense? Does your breathing change? These signals indicate that something matters to you. Instead of stepping back, pause and analyze what you are feeling. Name the fear clearly. Is it fear of looking unqualified? Is it fear of losing control? Is it fear of disappointing others? Specific identification reduces confusion. When fear remains vague, it feels larger. When you define it, it becomes manageable. Weak decisions often prioritize short-term relief over long-term benefit. You decline an opportunity to avoid anxiety. You postpone a conversation to avoid tension. You settle for less to avoid challenge. In the moment, the choice feels easier. Later, you may feel regret. Strong decisions consider long-term growth. They ask whether the discomfort now will produce strength later. They measure risk carefully without exaggeration. It is important to separate realistic risk from imagined threat. Real risk involves facts. Imagined threat involves assumptions. Write down what could realistically go wrong. Then write down what could realistically go right. Seeing both sides on paper brings balance. Fear also weakens decisions when it influences your identity. If you secretly believe you are not capable, you will choose options that confirm that belief. If you believe you are capable of learning and adapting, you will choose options that challenge you. Your self-image shapes your courage. Build evidence that challenges your fears. Take small, calculated steps. Speak once in a meeting. Apply for one opportunity. Start with a limited project. Each action provides data. You learn that discomfort does not destroy you. You learn that you can handle uncertainty. Another approach is preparation. Fear often decreases when competence increases. If public speaking worries you, practice in smaller groups. If business negotiations feel intimidating, study the process. Preparation does not remove fear completely, but it reduces its intensity. You must also develop tolerance for discomfort. Growth requires feeling unsure at times. It requires acting without guaranteed outcomes. Waiting for complete confidence may delay action indefinitely. Courage is built through repetition. The first bold step feels heavy. The next feels slightly lighter. Over time, what once seemed intimidating becomes part of your normal behavior. Examine your recent decisions. Which ones were influenced by fear? Which ones were influenced by purpose? Compare the results. Notice the difference in how you feel afterward. Fear-based choices often leave lingering dissatisfaction. Purpose-driven choices often leave pride. Even if the outcome is not perfect, it is not about eliminating fear. Fear is part of being human. It signals that something matters. The goal is to prevent fear from controlling your direction. When you feel hesitation, do not immediately retreat. Pause. Breathe steadily. Ask yourself what you are protecting. Ask yourself what you are avoiding. Ask yourself what could improve if you acted anyway. Your future depends on the quality of your decisions. The quality of your decisions depends on whether they are guided by strength or limited by fear. Examine the fears shaping your weak decisions. Bring them into the light. Question them. Test them. Replace avoidance with thoughtful action. Inside you is more capacity than your fears suggest. When you choose courage over comfort repeatedly, your confidence expands. Your choices become stronger. Your direction becomes clearer. And when your decisions grow stronger, your results begin to change.
Number 7, identify where your focus keeps leaking. One of the most valuable assets you possess is not money, not talent, not connections. It is focus. Where your attention goes, your results follow. If your progress feels slower than it should, if your goals seem to drift further away instead of closer, you must identify where your focus keeps leaking. Focus is energy directed with intention. When it is steady, work deepens. Ideas develop. Skills sharpen. When it is scattered, effort becomes shallow. You start many things. You finish few. You feel busy but not accomplished. Look at your average day. From the moment you wake up, how many times does your attention shift without your permission? Notifications appear. Messages arrive. News updates flash across your screen. Each one pulls at your awareness. Each one asks for a response. You tell yourself it will only take a minute. Minutes add up. Mental momentum breaks. The brain takes time to enter a state of deep concentration. When you interrupt that process repeatedly, you train your mind to operate at a surface level. Surface-level thinking rarely produces meaningful results. Your phone is not the only source of distraction. Thoughts can leak your focus just as easily. Worry about the future, regret about the past, imagined conversations, unresolved conflicts. These mental loops consume attention even while you appear to be working. Consider how often you replay a negative interaction in your mind. You analyze what was said. You imagine what you should have said. You feel the emotion again. Meanwhile, the task in front of you receives only partial effort. Focus also leaks through multitasking. You attempt to handle several responsibilities at once. You answer emails while listening to a meeting. You switch between projects quickly. You believe you are being efficient. In reality, constant switching reduces depth and increases error. Another leak appears in unclear priorities. If you do not decide what matters most, everything feels equally urgent. You move from one task to another based on what appears first, not based on importance. At the end of the day, the essential work remains untouched.
Examine your goals. Are they specific and written down, or are they vague ideas floating in your mind? Vague goals produce scattered action. Clear goals direct attention. Energy leaks when you commit to too many obligations. Saying yes to every request may feel helpful, but it divides your time. When your schedule is filled with minor commitments, there is little room left for major progress. Your environment plays a role as well. A cluttered workspace can signal distraction. Noise in the background can break concentration. Constant availability invites interruption. Protecting focus requires deliberate boundaries. There is also the emotional leak of comparison. Scrolling through other people's achievements can shift your attention away from your own path. You begin to measure yourself against curated images. You question your pace. You lose confidence. Instead of investing energy into your work, you invest it into observing others. Another source of leakage is lack of rest. When you are physically exhausted, your mind wanders more easily. Concentration requires strength. Sleep and nutrition are not luxuries. They support clarity. Unfinished tasks also drain attention. When you start something and leave it incomplete, part of your mind remains attached to it. This reduces the quality of your current effort. Closing small loops creates mental space. Notice how often you check for updates without real need. The habit of constant checking trains impatience. It weakens sustained attention. Deep work requires periods of uninterrupted engagement. Identify specific patterns. Do you reach for your phone whenever a task feels challenging? Do you switch activities when progress slows? Do you seek quick stimulation when boredom appears? These behaviors signal discomfort with stillness. Strong focus is built by tolerating moments of difficulty without escaping. When a task becomes complex, your mind may search for relief. That relief often appears as distraction. If you remain present instead of withdrawing, your capacity grows. Time without direction also leaks attention. If you begin your day without a plan, you are more likely to react to events instead of leading them. Planning does not remove flexibility, but it provides structure. Write down 3 key outcomes you want from each day. Let those guide your effort. Return to them when your attention drifts. Conversations can leak focus too. Extended discussions about topics unrelated to your growth consume energy. Choose carefully where you invest your words. You must also guard your mental input. Constant exposure to negative content, endless debates, and unnecessary drama drains clarity. Be selective about what enters your mind. Practice single tasking. Choose one meaningful activity. Set a period of uninterrupted time. Silence notifications. Close extra tabs. Inform others that you will be unavailable briefly. Notice the difference in quality. Track how long you can maintain deep attention before your mind seeks escape. Gradually extend that duration. This is mental training. Reflect at the end of the day. Where did your attention drift? What triggered distraction? Awareness precedes control. It is not about eliminating every interruption. Life contains unpredictability. The goal is reducing unnecessary leakage. Each reclaimed minute strengthens your momentum. Focus also relates to emotional direction. If you constantly dwell on problems without seeking solutions, your attention remains trapped. Shift toward constructive thinking. Identify actions instead of replaying frustration. Your ambitions require sustained effort. Scattered attention produces scattered results. Concentrated attention produces measurable progress. Protect your morning hours. Many people find clarity early in the day. Use that time for tasks that require thinking. Leave simpler tasks for later. Set boundaries with technology. Turn off non-essential notifications. Designate specific times to check messages. Create physical distance from devices when working. Build habits that support concentration. Regular exercise improves mental stamina. Structured breaks restore energy without inviting distraction. Remember that attention is limited. You cannot give full focus to everything. Choose deliberately. When you identify where your focus keeps leaking, you regain control over your direction. Each leak you repair increases your effectiveness. Your goals deserve your full presence. When you concentrate deeply and consistently, you produce work that reflects your true ability. Guard your attention. Direct it with purpose. What you concentrate on consistently will shape your future. Number 8. Catch the habits sabotaging your future. There is something powerful about habits. They work quietly. They repeat daily. They shape your outcomes more than your intentions ever will. You may speak about your goals with passion. You may imagine a different life with clarity. But your habits are voting every single day for the future you will actually experience. If you want to change your direction, you must catch the habits sabotaging your future. Most people think sabotage looks dramatic. They imagine big mistakes or reckless decisions. In reality, the most damaging behaviors are small and consistent. They feel normal. They feel harmless. That is why they are dangerous. Start with how you begin your day. The first hour often sets the tone. Do you wake with purpose, or do you drift into distraction? If the first thing you do is check your phone, scroll through updates, or respond to random messages, you begin your day in reaction mode. That pattern teaches your mind to prioritize noise over direction. Look at how you speak to yourself. Self-talk becomes habit quickly. If you regularly say you are bad with money, bad with discipline, bad with communication, those words shape behavior. You act in alignment with what you repeatedly declare. Negative labels restrict growth before you even attempt improvement. Notice how you respond when something goes wrong. Do you blame circumstances, or do you look for lessons? Blame may feel relieving for a moment, but it blocks responsibility. Responsibility opens the door to adjustment. Adjustment leads to progress. Another habit that damages the future is chronic delay. You tell yourself you will start tomorrow. You tell yourself next week will be better. That pattern pushes meaningful work into an imaginary future that never arrives. Days become months. Opportunities fade quietly. Examine your spending habits. Money is a tool. How you manage it reflects discipline. Impulsive purchases may feel satisfying briefly. Over time, they limit options. If you do not track expenses, you cannot control them. Financial carelessness creates stress that affects other areas of life. Your health habits also predict your future. Irregular sleep, poor nutrition, lack of movement. These patterns reduce energy and clarity. Low energy influences decisions. When you are tired, you are more likely to choose easy options instead of strong ones. There are social habits as well. If you spend time with people who complain often, who avoid growth, who speak negatively about ambition, their mindset can influence yours. Repeated exposure shapes beliefs. Beliefs shape action. Pay attention to how you handle free time. Do you invest it in learning and reflection, or do you escape into endless entertainment? Leisure is necessary. Escape as a routine weakens ambition. Another habit to examine is avoidance of feedback. Some people resist input because it feels uncomfortable. They prefer praise over correction. Without correction, weaknesses remain hidden. Hidden weaknesses limit performance. Perfectionism can become a sabotaging habit too. If you wait for perfect conditions before launching a project, you may never launch. Releasing work while continuing to improve it creates momentum. Endless refinement without exposure delays growth. Observe how often you break small promises to yourself. You decide to wake early. You decide to exercise. You decide to study. When you fail to follow through repeatedly, your self-trust weakens. Without self-trust, motivation declines. Habits form through repetition. You may not notice them because they feel automatic. That is why awareness is essential. For 1 week, observe your behavior carefully. Write down patterns. When do you lose discipline? When do you give in to impulse? When do you avoid responsibility? Catching a habit means interrupting it early. If you know you tend to scroll late at night, set a specific time to disconnect. If you know you overcommit and feel overwhelmed, practice saying no to minor requests. If you know you spend without planning, create a simple budget and review it weekly. Small adjustments create large shifts over time. Your future is not created in dramatic moments. It is built through daily repetition. Each habit is either building strength or weakening it. Consider your posture when you work. Do you sit with intention or slump into distraction? Body language influences mental focus. Adjusting posture can signal alertness. Consider your reaction to challenge. Do you quit quickly when something feels complex? Developing persistence requires staying engaged slightly longer than you want to. Another common sabotaging habit is seeking constant validation. If you depend on approval to continue, you will hesitate when approval is absent. Internal standards create stability. You must also guard against overconsumption of information without application. Reading without practicing. Watching without implementing. Learning becomes powerful only when applied. Identify one habit that clearly works against your goals. Focus on changing that single pattern first. Replace it with a stronger alternative. If you waste mornings, design a structured routine. If you speak negatively about yourself, practice deliberate positive statements supported by action. Change does not require intensity at the start. It requires consistency. A small habit practiced daily shapes identity. Your environment can support or weaken habits. Place reminders where you can see them. Keep tools for positive habits accessible. Remove triggers that lead to negative behavior. Reward yourself for progress, not perfection. Acknowledge improvement. This strengthens commitment. You are not defined by past patterns. Habits can be replaced. It requires awareness and decision. Ask yourself a simple question at the end of each day. Did my habits today move me closer to the person I want to become or further away? That question builds accountability. Catching sabotaging habits is not about self-criticism. It is about ownership. When you own your patterns, you regain control over your direction. Your future is shaped by repeated actions. Make those actions deliberate. Choose habits that strengthen discipline, clarity, and resilience. The life you want is not built through intention alone. It is built through consistent behavior. Identify the habits working against you, interrupt them, replace them, repeat. Over time, your daily routine will align with your ambitions. When that alignment happens, progress becomes natural.
Number 9, recognize the mindset, shrinking your potential. There is something more powerful than your skills, more influential than your background, and more decisive than your current circumstances. It is the mindset you carry every single day. If you feel that your life is smaller than it should be, if you sense that you are capable of more but not expressing it, you must recognize the mindset shrinking your potential. Potential is not only about talent, it is about permission. The permission you give yourself to try, to grow, to rise beyond your current level. Many people limit themselves long before the world limits them. One shrinking mindset is the belief that ability is fixed. You may think you are either naturally good at something or you are not. When you encounter difficulty, you interpret it as proof of limitation instead of a signal to develop. That belief stops effort early. It closes doors that practice could open. Another limiting pattern is thinking in extremes. You tell yourself that if you cannot be exceptional immediately, there is no point in starting. This all or nothing thinking blocks gradual improvement. Growth rarely happens in sudden leaps. It builds through steady refinement. Some people carry a mindset of comparison. They measure their progress against others constantly. Instead of focusing on their own improvement, they watch someone else's timeline. This creates discouragement. It creates impatience. It distracts from personal development. Your journey has its own pace. There is also the mindset of scarcity. You believe opportunities are limited. You believe success for someone else reduces your own chances. This belief creates competition instead of collaboration. It creates fear instead of creativity. When you see the world as limited, you restrict your ambition. Another shrinking belief is the idea that circumstances define destiny. You may come from a difficult background. You may have faced setbacks. Those experiences are real. But when you decide that your past permanently controls your future, you stop searching for solutions. Responsibility shifts outward. Power decreases. A victim mindset is subtle. It sounds like constant focus on unfairness. It sounds like repeated stories about what went wrong. While acknowledging challenges is important, remaining attached to them prevents movement. There is also the comfort mindset. You value safety over growth. You choose predictability over expansion. You avoid environments that challenge your current level. This keeps stress low in the short term, but it limits development over time. Some individuals adopt a mindset of approval seeking. They base decisions on how others will respond. They hesitate to take bold steps because they worry about opinion. This shrinks expression. It silences creativity. Perfection thinking can also reduce potential. If you believe that mistakes damage your identity, you will avoid experimentation. You will avoid situations where learning requires error. This prevents innovation. Pay attention to how you interpret failure. Do you see it as personal evidence of inadequacy or as information for improvement? Your interpretation determines whether you continue or withdraw. Language reveals mindset. Listen to the phrases you use. Do you say, "I cannot do this," or "I have not learned this yet"? Do you say, "That is impossible,"
or I do not know how yet. Small changes in language reflect large changes in belief. Another limiting mindset is focusing on short-term comfort over long-term fulfillment. When immediate feelings guide every choice, future possibilities shrink. Delayed gratification requires vision. There is also the mindset of waiting for motivation. You may believe you need to feel inspired before acting. This belief delays action. Action often creates motivation, not the other way around. Recognizing these patterns requires honesty. You must observe your thoughts without defending them. When you consider a new opportunity, what is your first internal response? Is it curiosity or doubt? Is it excitement or fear disguised as caution? Write down 3 goals that feel slightly beyond your current level. Notice the thoughts that appear. Those thoughts reveal your mindset. Challenging a shrinking mindset begins with questioning assumptions. If you believe you are not good at something, ask for evidence. Have you practiced enough to reach that conclusion? If you believe opportunities are limited, research examples of people who created new paths. Surround yourself with perspectives that expand thinking. Read stories of individuals who grew beyond difficult circumstances. Engage in conversations that challenge your current beliefs. Take small risks that contradict limiting thoughts. If you believe you are not a leader, volunteer to guide a small project. If you believe you are not creative, attempt a new skill. Evidence builds belief. Develop a learning mindset. View each experience as data. Instead of labeling yourself, analyze behavior. Skills can be improved. Knowledge can be gained. Your mindset shapes the lens through which you see reality. 2 people can face the same situation and interpret it differently. One sees restriction. The other sees opportunity. The difference is internal. Practice gratitude as well. Recognizing resources already available shifts attention from lack to possibility. Set standards that challenge your current level. When you expect more from yourself, your behavior adjusts. Guard your input. Constant exposure to negativity strengthens limiting beliefs. Choose content that encourages expansion. Review your progress regularly. Notice improvements. Celebrate growth. This reinforces the belief that change is possible. Potential expands when mindset expands. It contracts when beliefs remain narrow. You are not limited to your current capacity. You are limited only by what you believe about your capacity. Recognize the mindset shrinking your potential. Identify it clearly. Question it directly. Replace it intentionally. Your future is influenced more by your internal dialogue than by external conditions. When your thinking grows stronger, your actions follow. And when your actions align with a stronger mindset, your potential begins to unfold in ways you once considered unreachable.
Number 10. Confront the reason you still play small. There is a version of you that you show to the world every day. It is capable. It is responsible. It handles routine. It manages expectations. But deep down, you know there is more in you than what you are currently expressing. You feel it in quiet moments. You sense it when you see someone else take a bold step. You recognize it when you imagine what your life could look like. Yet you continue to play small. If you want real change, you must confront the reason you still hold back. Playing small rarely feels dramatic. It feels practical. It feels careful. It feels reasonable. You convince yourself that you are being smart. You tell yourself that staying where you are is stable. But stability is not the same as growth. And comfort is not the same as fulfillment. Start by asking yourself where you are underperforming on purpose. Where are you giving half effort when you could give full effort? Where are you staying silent when you could contribute? Where are you settling for average when you are capable of excellence? Sometimes playing small comes from early experiences. Maybe you were told not to stand out. Maybe you learned that attention brings criticism. Maybe you were rewarded for staying quiet instead of speaking boldly. Those messages can remain in your mind long after the moment has passed. You may also play small because you fear the responsibility that comes with higher performance. When you rise, expectations rise. When you lead, others depend on you. That weight can feel heavy. It is easier to remain in a position where little is expected. Another reason is the desire to fit in. If your circle values comfort over ambition, stepping beyond that level may create distance. You may worry about being viewed differently. You may fear losing connection, so you reduce your effort to match the environment. There is also the habit of minimizing your own strengths. When someone compliments your ability, you brush it off. When you succeed,
you downplay it. When opportunities appear, you assume someone else is more qualified. This pattern keeps your self-image small. Look at how you set goals. Do you choose targets that stretch you, or do you select ones you know you can reach easily? Safe goals protect you from disappointment. Bold goals demand courage. Playing small can also come from fear of visibility. Being seen means being evaluated. It means your work is open to opinion. Staying in the background avoids that exposure. Yet staying hidden also prevents recognition. Another influence is the memory of past failure. If you once tried and did not achieve the outcome you hoped for, you may have reduced your ambition afterward. You told yourself it was better not to aim so high. But one result does not define your capacity. There is also the pattern of waiting for permission, waiting for someone to invite you to step up, waiting for approval before taking initiative, waiting for certainty before committing. Permission often comes after you demonstrate confidence, not before. Confronting the reason you play small requires courage. It requires sitting alone and admitting the truth without blaming others. You must identify the exact thought that appears when you consider expanding. What sentence runs through your mind when you imagine aiming higher? Is it "I am not ready"? Is it "I might fail"? Is it "people will judge me"? That sentence holds power until you question it. Challenge the thought directly. Ask whether it is based on evidence or assumption. Ask whether staying small truly protects you or simply postpones growth. Look at your daily behavior. Do you prepare thoroughly for opportunities, or do you approach them casually? Preparation reflects belief. Casual effort often reflects doubt. You must also consider how you define success. If you believe success belongs only to a special group, you will unconsciously exclude yourself. Success is built through skill, discipline, and persistence. These qualities are developed, not assigned. Examine your standards. Do you demand excellence from yourself, or do you accept mediocrity? Standards shape performance. Another way to confront this issue is through action. Take one visible step this week. Share your idea publicly. Apply for the advanced role. Volunteer to lead a project. Enroll in a program that stretches you. The act of stepping forward challenges the identity of playing small. Your body will react. Your mind will produce resistance. That resistance is proof that you are pushing beyond your current limits. You must also build tolerance for discomfort. Higher performance brings scrutiny. It brings responsibility. It brings risk. Accept these as part of expansion. Replace self-minimizing language with accurate acknowledgement. If you are skilled, say so. If you worked hard, own it. Confidence is not arrogance, it is clarity. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage growth. Environment influences identity. When you observe others stepping up, you normalize bold action. Track your progress visibly, document improvements, record achievements. Evidence reduces self-doubt. Playing small is a choice repeated daily. So is playing bigger. Imagine yourself 5 years from now if you continue to reduce your effort. Imagine the frustration of knowing you had more to give. Then imagine the pride of fully expressing your ability. You do not need to become someone else. You need to stop shrinking who you already are. Confront the reason you still play small. Name it. Challenge it. Replace it with deliberate courage. Your potential does not expand automatically. It expands when you decide that hiding no longer serves you. Stand taller in your decisions. Speak with intention. Work with discipline. Aim with boldness. The world does not benefit from your hesitation. It benefits from your contribution. When you stop playing small, you do not only change your own life, you set a new standard for yourself and those around you. The choice is simple, but not easy. Continue shrinking or step forward. Choose to step forward.